This is the Cholo News Report for Friday, 23 February 2018. Following scandals involving an affair with a staffer and a sexual harassment allegation, Barnaby Joyce announces his resignation as Deputy Prime Minister of Australia and leader of the National Party of Australia. Our wealth-producing industries find themselves under a coordinated and undue attack by the many, who ironically owe their comfortable 21st century existence to the comparable few who work in the sun and subject their fortunes to the whims of international markets and finance. Joyce clearly intends to be using the phrase as a metaphor for the rural poor, a figure of speech known as synecdoche, where a part of something is made to represent the whole. Russia blocks agreement on a United Nations Security Council resolution, calling for a 30-day truce in Syria. A formal vote was postponed. The death toll since Sunday in the rebel-held Damascus suburb of eastern Ghouta is more than 400, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. The scene at the Security Council on Thursday underscored a growing sense of powerlessness and exasperation at the United Nations, as the Syrian civil war reaches new levels of violence. In response to reports of mass casualties among children in eastern Ghouta, UNICEF issued a statement this week that was completely blank, explaining that there were no words left to describe the horrors. On Thursday, local activists published a list of 42 victims, mostly women and children, who were killed when a rocket hit their shelter in the village of Beit Sawa this week. Sweden and Kuwait were seeking a vote on a resolution ordering a 30-day ceasefire to allow relief agencies to deliver aid and evacuate the critically sick and wounded from besieged areas to receive medical care. Nebenzia accused global media outlets of a massive disinformation campaign that ignored what it claimed were thousands of fighters, including al-Qaeda-linked militants, that were shelling Damascus from eastern Ghouta and taking refuge in hospitals and schools. Montenegrin police identify the perpetrator of a grenade attack on the U.S. Embassy in Podgorica which occurred yesterday. According to authorities, he was a veteran of the armed forces of Yugoslavia. Many Montenegrins resent the alliance, bombing their country, and Serbia in 1999 in a bid to end the killing of ethnic Albanians in Kosovo. But people working nearby say the police presence is small, and the overall atmosphere in the city is calm. In 2016, anger over the attempts to join NATO, coupled with opposition claims of corruption against the then Prime Minister, sparked mass protests ahead of a general election. Russian police detained the political activist Alexei Navalny and his chief of staff Leonid Volkov, who will be taken to court for having organized an unauthorized protest on January 28. Navalny claims the authorities want him in jail when the upcoming presidential election occurs on March 18. He later tweeted that he had been taken to a police station and then released after being served with notice that he was accused of repeated violations of what Kremlin critics say are draconian laws restricting public assembly. Navalny, who has organized protests and published reports alleging corruption in Russia's ruling elite, has been prohibited from running in the election due to a conviction on financial crimes charges he contends were fabricated. In the United States, Missouri Governor Eric Greitens is indicted by a grand jury for felony invasion of privacy by threatening to publish a nude photo of the woman he was involved with in a 2015 extramarital affair if the woman never disclosed the relationship. Governor Greitens denies the blackmail charge. Greitens, a Republican, declared his innocence in a written statement and alleged the indictment is a misguided political decision by a reckless liberal prosecutor. In recent weeks it appeared Greitens had weathered the worst of the scandal, but as news of the indictment spread Thursday, it became clear his political future is again in jeopardy. Peter Joy, a professor at the Washington University School of Law, said he expects the indictment against Greitens means either the woman agreed to cooperate with Gardner's probe, or that investigators have obtained other evidence of a crime.